Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. I would like to thank everybody for the birthday wishes today, man. I really appreciate it. I'm not a guy who likes a lot of attention, but I appreciate you guys showing love. It's because of you guys. That's why I had the live last night. I sacrificed to do it because it's for you guys. You guys are the reason this page is growing. We're halfway to 1,000, and we never would have been here without you guys. So for all those people trying to say that you guys aren't important or you just subs is full of crap. You guys are the reason why the page continues getting better. You're the reason why I go hard because you guys appreciate the truth that I bring to you. And I don't have a problem saying I get some of my stuff from Carcino, Ticket, Who Did It. I took some of Who Did It stuff. Jose Rodriguez. I take from everybody and I give credit where it's due. I don't take from people and then say, you know what, this is just me doing this. This is all about me. And it's not. It's about all of you guys. When I opened the StreamYard up, shout out to King Styles. He's a new guy who came on there, a new sub. I appreciate you, my brother. You came on there and brought some insight and you spoke your mind. Shout out to LBJ King. He's a LeBron fan, but he gave me a shout out for the birthday. I appreciate him. Even though we don't see eye to eye, he comes with how he feels about LeBron. He's not a blind witness like my little brother. They're not blind. They give facts about LeBron and they also give the negatives about him. So I enjoy that everybody's on the page. Now there's people that's no longer on the page, and I still appreciate them too because they got me this far. Now, here's the story. Cops and paramedics involved in Elijah McClain's death charged with homicide. The police officers and paramedics who stopped 23-year-old Elijah McClain and administered a fatal dose of ketamine are being charged with homicide. The police officers and paramedics, they gave it to him and they administered that drug to an unarmed black man, are being charged with homicide. And this has been 2 years since his death. A grand jury indicted 3 Aurora, Colorado police officers and 2 paramedics on a total of 32 counts Wednesday afternoon in a rare move to hold them accountable for acts while on duty. Every defendant is facing 1 count of criminally negligent homicide and a count of manslaughter. According to Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, while assault charges vary among those involved in McClain's death, our goal is to seek justice for Elijah McClain, for his family and his friends, and for our state, Weiser said Wednesday. On August 24, 2019, McClain was walking home from work wearing a ski mask which he wore to keep himself warm because he was anemic. After a resident called police because McClain looked suspicious, Aurora police officers Nathan Woodyard, Randy Rodema, and Jason Rosenblatt pulled up and told the young man to stop. But McClain kept walking because he had headphones on at the time of the verbal command, according to the body camera footage. The cops then accused him of resisting, tackled him to the ground, and began to handcuff him. At one point, they even placed him in a chokehold, a maneuver now banned by most police departments after the death of Eric Garner. McClain fainted and vomited during the arrest. I was just going home, McClain can be heard saying on body camera footage during the struggle. I'm just different. That's all I was doing. I'm so sorry. Paramedics were called to the scene of McClain's arrest by police after they determined he was suffering from excited delirium, a controversial state of agitation often diagnosed by cops, which later appeared on the black man's death certificate. The paramedics then injected McClain with ketamine, which is often used as an anesthetic treatment. But McClain went into cardiac arrest as they transported him to the hospital and was declared brain dead on August 27. He was taken off life support 3 days later. On top of the homicide charge, 2 of the police officers who arrested McClain, Rodema and Rosenblatt, also face an additional charge of second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury and 1 count each of a crime of violence related to the assault charge. And both paramedics who later arrived on the scene, Cooper and Kitchuniak, each face second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury. Second-degree assault for recklessly causing bodily injury by means of a deadly weapon, which is ketamine. Second-degree assault for a purpose other than lawful medical treatment, and one count of a crime of violence. Their indictment comes just over 2 years after McClain's death, which, combined with the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others, helped usher in a new era of scrutiny and accountability in American policing. Weiser was assigned to investigate McClain's death last year, but COVID-19 restrictions continued to delay the meeting of the grand jury, Weiser said Wednesday. During that time, questions into how Aurora officers handled their encounter with the black man continued, and an independent investigation in February determined that cops had no reason to place him in a chokehold in the first place. The grand jury made their decision last Thursday, but Weiser said his office delayed an announcement to the public to inform McClain's family first. We're here today because Elijah McClain is not here and he should be, he said. He was a son, a nephew, a brother, a friend. When he died, he was only 23 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. His family and his friends must now go on and live without him. Last month, Weiser announced his department is currently looking into whether the Aurora Fire and Police Departments have a pattern of violating the civil rights of its community members. The Aurora Police Department has been involved in several violent arrests that have received national attention. In July, an officer was charged with several crimes, including assault and official misconduct for pistol whipping and choking an unarmed man. In August 2020, Aurora officers forced a family of young black girls and their older relative out of a vehicle at gunpoint and handcuffed them after mistaking their van for a stolen vehicle. So, I think this is the mom speaking about what happened. Let's listen. If it'll play.
Everyone's getting a stinger now, and people will see us on the street.
Hold on, this is a ad. Sorry about that, you guys. Hold on. The video should play soon. All right.
It's definitely a game changer.
Thank you for coming in love, in respect, and in peace. Let's have a good time, y'all.
Elijah McClain loved playing music, especially the violin. So this gathering, part of a weekend of events commemorating his life, started off with a song in his honor.
No way, this is a luau party.
McClain, who was 23, was detained by 3 Aurora police officers while he was walking home from a convenience store.
Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
I am an introvert. Please respect the boundaries that I am speaking.
McClain was unarmed and had not committed a crime, but during a struggle with police, he was put into a chokehold and later injected with the sedative ketamine. He went into cardiac arrest on the way to the hospital, where he later died. None of the officers involved have been charged or disciplined for their role in his death. This all happened last year, but it wasn't until after the death of George Floyd in May that McClain's story gained national recognition. Candace Bailey has been supporting McClain's family since the beginning.
There was a lot of attention on this after the death of George Floyd. Was that an entirely positive thing for you? Like, hey, finally people are paying attention to us?
Heck no.
Really?
No.
Why is that?
Well, because we were out here for months and months and months and months, and it was like 8 of us, and then all of a sudden here we are, someone in a state none of us probably have visited, don't know this man from Adam, but right here locally, you won't stand up for people being murdered in your own backyard. Every white person from Boulder showed up, honey. The Capitol was cracking. There was 30, 40, 50,000 people down there, and so I make a challenge, and I say, you showed up for George Floyd. Now get up and show up in Aurora for Elijah McClain. Show up. We're out here screaming.
Even now, in the Denver area, it's easy to find a mural of George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. There was one of McClain, but it's been painted over. So dedicated organizers are making sure that he's remembered properly. This group came all the way from Louisville, where they've been protesting since the death of Breonna Taylor. They're here to support Elijah McClain's mother, Shaneen McClain.
We have Miss Shaneen McClain here, and we are honored to have her here. We are all Aurora. We are all Louisville. We are all Houston. We are all Minneapolis. And what happens is we need to show America that when one community hurts, we all hurt. When we want justice. When we want it. If we don't get it. If we don't get it. If we don't get it.
Carmen Jones is one of the people who made the journey.
What made you make that decision to say, you know what, I need to come out here and I need to be present in Denver, in Aurora?
It's a systemic issue that we're fighting. It's a systemic change that we're wanting. You know what I mean? So it can't just be on the city level. It can't just be on the state level. It has to be a federal reform, something that protects us all, no matter where we are, no matter what skin we're in. We can no longer just be marching around Babylon waiting for it to fall. It's not going to happen.
There has been some change in Colorado. The state has passed a law that, among other things, bans police use of chokeholds. It also ends qualified immunity, which means that officers can now be held personally accountable for civil rights violations. But McClain's mother is still fighting to have the officers involved in her son's death held responsible. She says she won't speak again publicly until they are. For outsiders, Elijah McClain might just feel like another name in another news cycle. But for the family, being asked to be the voice of grief repeatedly is traumatic.
Elijah McClain's mother has said that she's not speaking to any media. What position do you have in that? What do you do in that?
I'm going to be her voice for her. She don't have to speak to nobody. They're not entitled to a goddamn thing. And I don't excuse my French. They're not entitled to nothing. Y'all took her baby. That she gave, literally, y'all took everything she had. You want her voice too?
Exactly.
There are currently 5 open investigations into the McClain case, including one from the state attorney general, that could potentially result in charges against the officers who stopped McClain.
The world's watching Colorado right now. There are a lot of people watching this. Do you feel like you're being heard?
No. No, I don't think people are being heard. I think people are hearing the rhetoric is what they're hearing.
And this is a black man who stayed there.
When we're asking for change and they say that, change takes time, it's like, how much time do you need?
Everybody make some noise for Shaneen McClain and her entire family. We love you, and we're always going to be right there by you.
So I wanted you to hear, what she said, like from the mother's voice and the residents there, the spokesperson for her family. Why did it take this long for us to learn about this? I didn't know anything about this. This wasn't shown anywhere 2 years ago. But because George Floyd died or Breonna Taylor, and I'm not trying to single people out because those families have a right to feel upset in how they are and grieve the way they are. But this is the problem we've been having. Unarmed black men are having a troubled time going home or doing as they're asked, but being told what to do. They could have walked up to the kid and just tapped him on the shoulder just to see how he's doing. But because he's a black man, they got to have they got to do extra shit. Like, oh, I got to have a gun out, or I got to be Rambo. You're not Rambo. You are supposed to protect and serve. Did you do anything to protect and serve in that situation? And this isn't just Elijah McClain. This stuff's been going on before my time. This been going on, when my parents grew up in the colored and whites era where it was segregated. They were more together segregated than they are now. To me, desegregation is the ultimate thing that has destroyed the black community of America. If we would have stayed segregated in our own thing and let them do what they do, we would have been a lot stronger. They wanted to get us apart so they can do things like what they did to Elijah McClain, what they did to George Floyd, what they did to Breonna Taylor. This is what they want to do. And today, we as black men and women as a community, it's not just on one gender or one side, it's everybody. We have to be more accountable of what's going on. We have to step up on these laws. We have to elect our own people. I had a great conversation with my mother. My mother is one of the smartest women, smartest people that I've ever known or ever been around. Her and my sister and my dad, God rest his soul, and my brother-in-law, they're smart people. And my mom said, well, the problem is we're not voting for the people we need to vote for to get into office. And she's right. She's been preaching this for 20 years now. Before Carcino came around, before a lot of people came around on YouTube. She's been preaching this message. And people are not listening. And people think, oh, well, you're just ranting. You're just ranting. Well, we need some ranting because you guys aren't stepping up to the plate. Now, I did this story. I know it's my birthday. I'm enjoying my birthday. I'm enjoying my time. But at the same time, I still want to give you guys content. We just dropped the RNS number 27. That was last night. I got 2 more parts that will be coming during the week. I dropped the other one next week. Like I said, it's next Sunday. Football season. I'm going to be on a flight coming back, so we're not going to go live that day, but we would definitely go live Monday for Monday Night Football. But Sunday, no, I'm going to be I'm going to be handling some business. So but this is something to look at. We need to preach about this more. Elijah McClain needs to be talked about more. Not just him, but we need to talk about these laws. We need to get to the grease of the things. And instead of you YouTube content creators dissing Kwame, dissing Carcino, dissing Ticket TV, how about you come up with an idea? How about you try to work with them? Have y'all ever thought about, even though we disagree on LeBrownies, so what? LeBrownies ain't doing shit for our communities. He's not. If you want to say I'm hating, okay, whatever. I don't care. We need to come together. Shout out to my boy Julian Riley. He's doing a lot in St. Pete for the people and those around there. Him, everyone around there. Nagus Royce Wheeler, my boy Royce, he's out there doing stuff for people. Me and him never really got along growing up, but that's still fam. We played on the same team. We brothers. So there's other people out there doing stuff. Like a Lewis Murphy, all of these guys. You guys in St. Pete, there's a lot of people doing the job. Me, I'm not there no more because of my situation. I had to make moves. But at the same time, I still listen to those guys. I still give them support. I still tell people y'all need to go support them, and y'all do. Because they're doing something for the neighborhood, for the community. We need everyone around the U.S., not only the U.S., the world, to step up and help. We need to come together. We have to prevent this from happening. Now, I'm glad they changed the laws where because of civil rights, they're charging these cops now, which they should have been doing. Why does everything take for so long to do? Oh, I know why. Because now you have people putting pressure on you. Now you guys want to do something now because you're seeing it's getting out of hand when you let the shit go. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Deezy.